If you have received a few quotes to paint your exterior, you know how expensive that is. And that's why we don't want to make any mistakes when it comes to choosing the right colors for our exterior. So today's video is all about paint colors to avoid on your exterior. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Ashley, and each day I help frustrated homeowners make sense of their painting projects by choosing the right paint colors to blend with their home's fixed elements for the most cohesive look. So the first set of colors that you need to avoid on your exterior, and I know this is going to ruffle a few feathers, is stark white and stark black. Now, before we go any further, and I get comments that say black and white exteriors are timeless, yes, they are in this context. Now, this is a timeless black and white exterior. This is the modern farmhouse black and white. Now, this has been around since 2015, 2016. Trend cycles typically last about 10 years. This is on its way out. It's been on its way out for several years now because this has evolved to this. So we're going softer, warmer, not quite as harsh with our two colors, with our main body and our accent color. Now, if you are super drawn to the modern farmhouse, it's all you've ever wanted for your exterior, this video is not for you. That's something that is unique to you, that's great. But I do have a lot of clients that they see a lot of things because they're trending on Pinterest or Houzz or on social media, and they say, I'm drawn to this, but I don't want to make a mistake. I want something that's timeless because I don't intend to repaint for quite some time now. If that's you, I would steer clear from the black and white if that isn't something that you have loved forever. Another thing that I'll mention is a lot of people are trying to force the modern farmhouse on an exterior with an architectural style that can't support it. So what that means is your house is a very suburban looking house, and you're trying to do the stark white, stark black. It just really can't support it because it's not that modern farmhouse look. You're not out in a field around tons of lush acres. So think about that too when choosing exterior colors. What does the architectural style of my home support? Now, if you want a lighter exterior and you really do like the modern farmhouse movement, but you want something a little bit more timeless, something that isn't seen literally everywhere, you need to go a little bit softer on that body color, and you need to go softer overall with your contrast for your accent color. So if you're kind of in the dark because you were thinking Sherwin-Williams alabaster or pure white were the perfect colors for your exterior, and now you're thinking maybe you need to go a little bit creamier, a little bit softer overall, I have a video for you that I want you to watch in its entirety to help you kind of pick those creamier white paint colors. Another couple paint colors that I want you to avoid are stark blacks, all black exterior, or all charcoal exterior. Now, if you want the moodiness of the charcoal or the black, but you want something a little bit more timeless, you need to explore paint colors like Sherwin-Williams Rock Bottom or Benjamin Moore Regent. Rock Bottom is actually a black with a really, really strong green undertone, and outside, because colors lighten up so dramatically, you can really see that green. Regent is really, really beautiful too. It's got a green and a blue undertone that looks lovely. Now, something I want to mention. With the modern farmhouse movement, doing the all black or all charcoal exterior, it was color washed. We did the trim, soffit, fascia, the body, all of that was black. You can still get away with that if your home architecturally supports it. What this means is doing one color is not going to fall flat. It's not going to be boring. You need to really take a good hard look at your exterior to decide if you can pull this off. So an easy way for you to get a little bit of a visual reference as to whether or not your home can support this look is to take a photo of your exterior, put it into AI, ask it to paint your home, for example, all Sherwin-Williams peppercorn, and see where you land after that. Now, you have to be a little careful because AI does tend to make your home look much better than it does in reality with the after photos, so be realistic about what your home can support. Another thing, take a look at this photo. This photo of this house, this is Benjamin Moore Regent. This does not come across as trendy. It doesn't scream modern farmhouse because it has carefully balanced the contrast. You see how lovely and warm the roof is, and then they've got a nice warm door, gorgeous copper gutters, and then please do not forget about the landscaping. The landscaping helps to kind of give warmth and liveliness to the home. So if you want to color drench your exterior in a moody, dark color, something that has an LRV of 15 and under, you need to think about these things. The next paint colors I want you to avoid like the plague, unless you live at the beach and you are surrounded by lovely, vibrant homes, you need to avoid overly bright blues and greens. The problem is, if you take a look at this, do you see these paint colors? These are very, very vibrant. This is not what we would use for an exterior. These colors need to be reserved for use in small doses. So we're talking about interior, if you've got a fun piece that you want to paint, or something that you just want to use as an accent, these are great for that. Even some front door colors, depending on your exterior color scheme. We don't want to put these on the body because do you see how bright they end up looking? Where we want to focus are these types of colors right here. These are your neutrals. So any color, whether you're going with blue or green, or say you're going to be bold and go with purple, they need to have a strong undertone to really kind of calm it down. So for example, if you really have your heart set on blue, the blues to kind of guide you, you need to be looking at colors like Benjamin Moore Hale Navy, Sherwin-Williams Needlepoint Navy. If you like a lighter blue, you can look at something like Sherwin-Williams Debonair. Those types of colors with a stronger gray undertone, not the colors that belong on a beach house. Pale blue and greens or blue greens that have LRVs around 60 and higher, 55 and up, need to be evaluated carefully. A lot of these colors, you're looking at them inside or in the paint store and you're like, oh, this is gorgeous. And they're neutrals, so we have no danger of them being too vibrant. They lighten up too much and they kind of lose a lot of that really pretty blue-green blend, if that's what you're going for, outside. So, and they can work. Like, for example, I've seen Sherwin-Williams Rain Washed. That's got an LRV, I think, of 59. That works really well in a beach community, in a residential suburban neighborhood. It's a little bit too beachy, a little bit too bright. You need to go darker, so you need to kind of look and explore blues or greens in the 40 to 50 LRV range and even darker to kind of get that same look that you're going for. So be careful. Don't go too light if you want a pretty blue or green, because it's going to lighten up a little bit too much outside and you're going to end up with something that looks like it belongs at the beach, which if you are at the beach, that's great. If not, not so much. I don't see too many people that want to paint their house yellow. Every now and then somebody says, I'd really love a yellow, and I absolutely love that request because I think a yellow cheery house is always timeless in the right context. I do see a lot of people that want yellow front doors. So if you want a yellow front door or a yellow body color, you have to be very careful. You are going to have to go a lot dirtier and a lot mustardy-er, if that's a word, than you think you should, because the way yellows lighten up outside, it's very dramatic. So you almost have to go with a color that looks golden inside to get the right look outside. You don't want a highlighter yellow front door. You don't want a highlighter yellow house. So paint colors to kind of steer you in the right direction. For body colors, I love Sherwin-Williams Butter Up. I also love Benjamin Moore York Harbor Yellow. For front doors, a good frame of reference is Benjamin Moore Stuart Gold. Typically when I tell people that's a great suggestion, they're always caught off guard because it looks way too gold, but then they paint it on their exterior, the sun does its thing, and it's the perfect yellow for your exterior. All right, we're gonna end on this note. The last set of paint colors you need to avoid are neutrals that don't make sense with your home's fixed elements. The overwhelming majority of us end up painting our home a neutral, and that's because we have fixed elements that are a little bit too demanding to go with a vibrant blue or even a green. Neutrals are very, very difficult to get correct. And if you're just kind of dipping your toes into these waters, I invite you to watch my other video on exteriors that kind of goes over how to go about choosing a neutral for your exterior. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to choose, for example, a taupe body color, and taupes have those pink purple undertones, which are great if you have taupe stone or a large taupe circular driveway or a roof that's pretty prominent and has a lot of taupe tones. You don't want to choose this if you have stone that's really in the gray family or stone that's in the beige family, because it's going to really make those undertones clash. Somebody's gonna look at your house and say, that looks pretty purple or that looks pretty pink. Vice versa. You don't want to choose a beige body color if you have gray stone or an overly gray roof. Make sure when you are choosing a neutral that it makes sense. And the only way to do this is to really test your paint colors correctly, study the undertones. And for a novice that doesn't have any idea what they're talking about, when it comes to undertones, if you order a lot of different neutrals, I do have a neutral ebook that's great, and simply test them and compare them. You will be amazed at how quickly you can spot the undertones when you compare them to each other. And then of course, the best thing that you can do besides painting a large enough sample on your exterior is to compare these neutrals with your fixed elements. Do not make an exterior paint decision without carefully considering your fixed elements. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, I have tons of exterior videos that I will link below. So if you are just beginning this process, you've got a lot of homework to do. Thanks for watching, everyone.